Good afternoon. Today I'm going to try for you guys Glenrothes 1998, bottled in 2012. Been mowing. Well, actually I was weed eating and spraying. Then an unforeseen storm come up and that was done, so I went and took a shower and put my evening clothes on and relaxed. It's about 4 in the afternoon, 4:30 I guess. Anyway, Glenrothes, established in 1879. And I'll read to you a little bit about the distillery. This one I don't know much about, so we will refer to this. There's a couple of things that I want to bring to your attention. 1879, they had a fire in 1922. Was fully modernized in 1980. Can produce 5.6 million liters per annum. It operates a large stainless steel semi-Lochner mash tun, 12 Oregon pine washbacks, 8 stainless steel washbacks, 5 wash stills, 5 spirit stills, all with boil balls in the neck. The spirit stills are unusually large and have a higher charge than the wash stills, resulting in less copper catalysis of the low wines and a heavier spirit results. And it's matured in the combination of American and Spanish casks. They don't do a vintage every year because it's got to meet certain expectations. And the bulk of Glenrothes is in the single malt Cutty Sark, which is a blended whiskey, and also is a component of famous grouse blends. It gives you a little bit of understanding. So, in the heavier malt does make sense when you taste this. It really you can really shines through. You really grasp that once you taste it. It is it's 43% alcohol by volume. I'm going to assume it's chill filtered and colored. I'm not sure, but there's nothing that I've ever seen that states otherwise. It's kind of strange how they do it. Checked and distilled. It was distilled December 17th, 1998. Then it was approved by the malt master February 11th, 2009. From there it was bottled in 2012. Now, after the approval date, did they combine the whiskey in a large retaining vessel? I mean, and it just stayed in there until they finally bottled it, because they have different bottlings of this. I think they've got a 2010. I think it was a 2010 bottling. They got basically a 10-year-old, and they got another older bottling of it I seen the other day. I think it's a 2014 bottling of it. So when it's approved on that date, the different dates of bottlings, I don't know if it's left in the cask in the warehouse. It's just approved and says, okay, it's ready anytime you want to vat it and then bottle it that year, and then maybe leave other casks, or did they just vat it all and produce some of it that year, leave the rest in the vats until 2012, so on and so forth. And I don't understand that, and they don't elaborate on it, so I really don't know much about it. Basically, you can either assume this is a 10-year-old whiskey by the dates roughly, 10-year-old 1 month, or it could be 13-year-old. Who knows? Basically, I don't know. That's the best. That's why I explain it to you guys, because I don't really know. Let's get on with the tasting of it. It's a a medium orange amber, maybe slightly darker than medium. I wouldn't call it overly dark. It leaves good legs on the glass. It's fairly thick and syrupy. Viscous. Tears are run down rather, not too quick, not too slow, but it is a very viscous Scotch. Oh, bugs. Okay, it's fruity right off. This is a very fruity Scotch. It's not citrusy, too heavily citrusy. Think of fruits like pears, plums. Get a lot of pears and plums in this. That's what I get. Vanilla, cinnamon, not heavily on the cinnamon though, just a little bit, but the vanilla does come through, strong vanilla. And sort of, this is going to sound silly, but when I tasted it the other day, it took me a while to come up with it. It's got sort of a sandalwood incense smell to it. In the sandalwood, that's the only way I can describe it. But it does have a certain sandalwood incense odor that it carries with it. You have to excuse me, I keep bumping my mic. And you know, it gets better as it sets in the glass, as it sets in the bottle longer. We're working on about the third week it's been opened, which is generally where I test, usually third to fourth week after I open a bottle. And it's been a week since I've tested it last, tasted it. And it gets a little better every time. Again, plums, pears, a little orange zest. It does bring a little citrus on the palate, but it didn't bring on the nose. Vanilla again. A little bit of slight green banana. And it does have some spiciness to it, but it's indescript. It's not a spiciness I can actually narrow down and say, oh, that's nutmeg or cinnamon or cardamom or whatever. I can't do that with it. But it does bring a certain spiciness to it, and it's not unpleasant. Excuse me. The finish on it, medium long, very pleasant. It has a good mouth coating. Overall, this is a pleasant whiskey. Now, there is a little, I would say it is a little light saltiness to it. It's not heavy, but it's not like an Isla or some of the more salty stuff, but there's just a little bit of slight saltiness to this. A little bit of black pepper in there. So you could say those are two of the spices, but there's other. It's not a rich, spicy malt. It's more on the fruity side. And if you're into fruity malts, you're going to like this. It's got almost a confectionery sugar finish on it, how confectionery sugar is. And it's and the banana finishes with it. Overall, this isn't a bad malt. It's very drinkable, easily drinkable. No off-putting flavors at all in it. And I paid $60 $67 I think I paid for this. 67 or 68. And that's probably the rub I have, because for that kind of money I can get another malt that is, I feel, is a better malt. But the one thing that does shine with this that other ones don't is the packaging. You gotta love the bottle. It is so stinking cool. I mean, the bottle is cool. Glenrothes, don't ever change your packaging. Don't ever do it. It's not worth it. That is such a cool bottle. It's unique, it's interesting, and I like it. Score. What score would I give this? My tasting last week, I put an 83 out of 100 down on it. And that's not a bad score. I think I will stay with 83 out of 100. I thought about increasing it to 84, 85, and it may. It is getting better. The more it's open, the more it's allowed to breathe a little bit. So we'll say an 83 plus, if that makes any sense. We can say an 83, an 84. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Anyway, that's all I really. Oh, got my board for y'all to see. If it'll stay upright, it's been used for another purpose, and now it's might have developed issues. We'll leave it 83 out of 100. Everybody have a good day. Remember, the spirit in the glass is not running from you. Take time, sip it, and enjoy it. You'll be better for it. Thank you.